In this video series, we'll show you everything you need to know about your Phantom 2 Vision, from unboxing it for the first time, all the way through capturing stunning aerial photos and videos. Before we start, we at DJI would like to express our gratitude to you for choosing the Phantom 2 Vision. Hundreds of passionate people have spent countless hours to ensure you have an incredible experience with your new flying camera. Whether you have years of experience or are a first-time pilot, none of our jobs would be possible without you. So from the entire DJI family, thank you for choosing the Phantom 2 Vision. Now, let's get started. First, we'll open the box and see what's inside. So the first thing we have in here is the Phantom 2 Vision Quick Start Guide, which will walk you through all the basic stuff that you need to know about your Phantom Vision, what the different parts are, what the different components are called, as well as all the basic steps to getting ready for your first flight. There's also QR codes here that take you to this video, as well as the other videos in this series on downloading the application and using the application and your very first flight with the Phantom Vision. So, Quick Start Guide. We've got 3 different sets of decals, red, blue, and pink, that you can use on the Phantom Vision. We have a sheet in here that shows you exactly what comes in the box with each name of each component, how many of each should be in there. And finally, we have our disclaimer here, which just explains that while the Phantom is a really fun thing to fly and it's a great way to get aerial photos and videos, it is still a flying object, it is still an advanced UAV, and there's just things to be cognizant about, like fast spinning propellers, the fact that we're using a lithium polymer battery. So there's a lot of really helpful information in here that will ensure that you have a great flying experience and that you can operate safely and responsibly. The next thing we'll take a look at is what's inside the container here. And as you'll see, the Phantom comes almost completely pre-assembled for you. So let's take each component out and look at what each one is. So first of all, we have the craft. So this is the Phantom's body. The battery comes pre-installed in the Phantom, and there are no propellers on it, as you can see, or decals. We can go ahead and remove this bubble wrap from the camera. You'll see that it comes with a lens cap right here on the camera for you. So you got the Phantom craft. Next we have our remote controller for the Phantom. This allows you to fly the actual flying machine that's in the air, your flying camera. It tells you, there's a card here that tells you what direction the Phantom will go in with each of these sticks' movement. Next, you have your range extender for the Phantom 2 Vision. Now, what the range extender does is this allows your smartphone to communicate with the camera that's in the Phantom Vision so that you can see what the camera's seeing, do full camera control, change camera settings, things like that, but from a far, far greater distance than if your smartphone or smart device was connected directly to the Wi-Fi access point in the Phantom Vision. This gives us a powered antenna on the ground and a powered antenna in the air, which gives us a really nice long range for that video feed and for your camera control. So that's your range extender. Next we have our smartphone holder, which we will put onto the controller and allow you to place your smartphone into the holder here, so that while you're flying you can easily look at your smartphone and see what your camera's seeing, be able to press buttons to take a photo, start a video, stop a video, things like that. Next, we have 2 complete sets of propellers. You'll see 4 bags, each containing a counterclockwise and a clockwise rotating propeller, indicated by a black or silver threaded insert. So these are our propellers. We'll get to those in a bit. And over here, you'll notice we have 2 small bags, one of which contains a screwdriver that we include so that you can easily install your smartphone holder onto your remote controller. And the other end of it allows you to very easily convert the remote controller itself from European CE compliant to United States FCC compliant modes. We'll get more into that later. And then this small bag here, which includes several spare parts as well as some handy tools for you. So you've got 3 little bags of screws. We'll use 2 of these screws to mount the phone holder onto the remote controller. The other screws will be spares for you. You have some spare rubber dampers that connect the Phantom 2 Vision's camera to the body. So if you ever lose any of those dampers, you have some spares in here. You also have a little propeller tool that allows you to hold the motor still while you if you need to hold the motor still to undo or loosen your propeller after you've run into an object or if you've crashed, that will make the propeller very tight, and you may need to use this tool to undo the propeller. It just makes it easier instead of having to try to grab onto the motor really tightly. So we've included that for you as well. And then we also have a spare set of feet that can go on the bottom of your landing gear. So as you'll notice here, on the bottom of your landing gear, you've got 4 little rubber feet that allow it to land nice and softly. And in here, we have an extra set of those 4 little landing feet. And then here we have a little box which contains your charger for the Phantom 2 Vision's flight battery, as well as some USB cables and some international adapters for the plug. So we have the charger that we're going to use here in just a second to charge the battery, as well as a micro USB cable that we'll use to charge the range extender and that we can use to connect to the Phantom's assistant software on the computer, right here to the USB port on the front of the Phantom 2's body. First things first, let's go ahead and get our batteries charging so that you'll be flying as soon as possible. So what I'm going to do here is open up my charger here, and you'll see we've got a part that plugs into the wall and then into our power supply here, inline power supply, and then a part that's going to plug right into the Phantom 2 Vision's battery. So we'll go ahead and plug in this guy here. Now, on the battery itself, you'll want to remove the battery from the back of the Phantom 2 Vision. You're going to grab the top and the bottom, squeeze the tabs, and then pull it straight out. So that will allow it to slide right out. You've got a little label here that tells you how to turn on and off the battery, which we'll get into that more later as well. For now, I'm going to remove that label. And now here on your charger, you can see that there's a little flap that opens up. You just open up that flap and then insert it right into the only place that you can plug it in. There's no way to plug it in incorrectly, so don't worry. Go ahead and plug it in there. You'll notice now that my green lights on the battery are telling me that I am somewhere around probably between 25 and 50% charge. And eventually 3 of those lights will be flashing, and then 4 of those lights will be flashing. And then when all the lights turn off, I know that my battery's fully charged. So we're gonna let this sit here and charge. And now let's go ahead and charge our Phantom's range extender with the USB cable. So you can use anything that provides USB power, whether it's a computer or a USB battery pack or any kind of wall charger for a USB device. So we'll go ahead and plug in here and plug the range extender into the USB cable. Now you'll see when the light is yellow, you're charging, and then when it turns to green, you'll be fully charged. So we'll let that sit here and charge. Now we'll install our decals onto the Phantom Vision's body. They're not just for looks, they actually aid you as a pilot so that you can see, say in really bright sunlight where it's hard to see the LED indicators on the bottom of these arms, you'll be able to see that your front 2 arms have stripes on them. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the red. That allows me to get a really nice contrasty look and allows it to be seen very easily. On these decals, you'll see short and long stripes. They correlate. The shorter stripes will go closer to the motor or all the way toward the outside of the arm. You'll see some indentions here in the arm where you're going to put these stripes. The longer stripes will go more toward the inside of the arm or more toward the center of the Phantom's body of these 2 locations. So we'll start with the smaller stripe, which will be in this indentation that's more toward the outside of the Phantom's arm. I just set it right there in the middle and then put it down just like that. We'll do a long one on this side. Set it down right here in the middle. There we go. And then we throw in some DJI decals here for you, which I like to put one here on the top. I think it looks good. You can put one here on the top of your controller even. So right here, this is kind of a nice looking spot for one. So as you can see, the decals aren't just for good looks, they actually help you as a pilot to clearly see where the front of the craft is, because these front arms will have these nice bright stripes on them. So now that we've got our decals in place, let's go ahead and install our propellers. Very easy. We're going to go ahead and remove these warning tabs here off of the 4 motors. and then we'll open 2 bags of propellers. Now what's great is that these propellers are really easy to put on. You've got a silver and a black propeller in each bag. Now 2 of the motors have little black dots on the top of the motor shaft. So I'm going to match my black threaded insert with the black dot and the silver threaded insert with the prop shaft that does not have a dot. Go ahead and put all of them on like that. And the great thing is you actually cannot install the propeller in the wrong prop because it will not tighten. 2 of the threads on the black ones are actually counter threaded because 2 props spin counterclockwise and 2 props spin clockwise. So as long as you match your black with your black, then you'll know when you rotate it in the direction that it indicates for locking the propeller, it'll lock right into place. So those 2 spin to the left, these 2 spin to the right, and I just tightened all 4 propellers. So really easy to tighten the propellers. And if it takes off, that means that the propellers are tight and they will be tightening the entire time during the flight. And then the only time you'll ever need to use your propeller wrench is if the propeller is particularly tight for some reason and you're having a hard time holding the motor in place while you loosen the propeller. You can use this little wrench here and place it just like this, and then that allows you to hold the motor still while you're loosening the propeller. So that's your prop wrench. Props are installed. Now, the next thing is we want to install the remote controller batteries. So you just need 4 AA batteries. So I'll grab my 4 AA batteries. Open up the back of the remote controller here. Simply install the 4 batteries. Now that you've got your 4 batteries installed, the next thing we want to do is install the range extender onto the remote controller. As you'll see, we've already got the base of the range extender pre-installed onto the remote controller. And now we just need to take the range extender and using this little screw and nut, we'll go ahead and loosen it. And then we'll install the range extender with the LED lights facing you. So we'll put it into place, put our screw through, hold a little nut here, and then tighten it. Okay, so you can make it nice and snug so that wherever you tilt your range extender, it'll stay in that location. So what you want to do is kind of have this flat surface facing toward your Phantom. So if you're flying really high, you may want it to be tilted up. If you're flying really far away, you may want it to be tilted more like this, so it's pointed out toward your Phantom 2 vision. So there's your range extender. Now next, we'll go ahead and install the smartphone holder. So in this first bag, we'll take out the screwdriver that we've included. Put it in the Phillips mode. And we'll take out there's a little silver piece, a little CNC part here in this small bag. And we will need 2 M3x5 screws. So we'll go ahead and take your smartphone holder and place it at the base of the little handle on the back of your remote controller. And then that little CNC part that was in the bag, we'll place right over it. Then you can just drop a screw in right here. Take your screwdriver and tighten it. And then put in your second screw. And tighten it. And you want to go ahead and make this, take both screws and make them nice and snug. And that way your smartphone holder will stay in place. Now your remote controller is ready to hold your smartphone. It's also ready to have your range extender communicating in long range with your Phantom Vision. We can easily place our smartphone here, which will allow us to see what the camera's seeing and control the camera through the app while we're flying, and we're pretty much done. The Phantom 2 Vision is fully assembled. In the next video, we're going to connect to the DJI Vision app on your smartphone and walk through some of the amazing, incredible things that can be done when you combine advanced UAV technology with the smartphone that's already in your pocket. We'll see you there.